technology screens. Try to get through this the best way I can. Okay, and out of curiosity, I'm thinking like, okay, when we made the digital one crystal screen paint, we really never tested against anything else because, like I said, I didn't have any 18 sample sheets on my kitchen drawer or any of that stuff whatsoever. I think we just tested it against the white wall. That's pretty much all we did when it came to this stuff. So this is a product that we made 8 years ago under our old company that used to have on a digital one crystal screen paint. And I told you how we made it because we don't make it anymore. It's old. To compare it to the stuff we make now, this stuff is nothing. So this stuff pretty much was half and half. It was half bare 1050 and half Metallica paint, which we didn't use the Modern Masters. We used Martha Stewart. At the time, like I said, she used to sell through. She used to have a contract through Home Depot back in that particular era. And then we used some gold glitter. That was it to make it. So I made it already to show you. You know what I mean? It's no problem. That's because it's no threat to us. We don't make this stuff anymore because, like I said, it's an 8-year-old screen paint. And you can look me up on under Digital Crystal Screen Paint. You will see me there talking about the products. This was an old company. So like I said, we really never tested it against anybody else because all we did was against white screens. That's all we did, white screens and white piece of paper. The only thing that actually graced the screen was the black diamond. And that's what changed us over to, you know, looking into black technology, darker screens. So I'm curious, as I was sitting upstairs, like how close? We already know to the personal mix, it matches the personal mix perfectly. It does. And mind you, this is the personal mix and all the other products here are supposed to be newer update screen paint products. They're supposed to be new updates. And we had this stuff 8 years ago. All right. So now mind you, this is out of my own curiosity. This is not to taunt him and whatever. It's just out of my curiosity how close to some of this stuff will come. All right. So let's begin. I need to get some tape. Well, first thing first, let's put something up there besides a red screen. This is the wrong remote control, or is it? This is the right one. Let's go over to white screens. So I'm going to bring up an all white screen. And we're going to start off with the personal mix first. And then we're going to start off with doing white levels first. We got the UV mix. And then over here, we got the Metallica mix 2.0. And let's see what we get on a white screen versus our old 8-year-old screen paint. The first thing we're going to do some white levels first. Let's do, let's see, let's go do Skyworth food demonstration. Now, of course, the darker screen is going to show the better contrast, but let's see how it does on the white levels of the screen. This is something I noticed when I was doing this particular demonstration about the TV, and I put the UV mix up. I was like, wow, that stuff comes up pretty dark next to our 8-year-old screen paint. And that right there is the personal mix. Yeah, that's the personal mix coming up that dark. That's the personal mix. That's the UV mix, mix 2.0. So this is an 8-year-old product. 8 years. And like I said, we have no intention ever making this stuff because, like I said, it's old dinosaur paint. That's what we call it. This is old dinosaur paint. We don't make this anymore because next to our technology would crush it, which I said in the demonstration when I took that sandwich sheet and I put it up against the Signature 17. Yeah, it crushed the screen. But this product, our product pulls a higher white level. Definitely pulls a higher white level. Look at that on her face. That's the personal mix right there. That's the UV mix versus our 8-year-old digital 1 crystal screen paint. Here is the Metallica mix versus our digital 1 crystal screen paint. Yeah, our 8-year-old screen paints actually pulls a higher white level. That's something I noticed. When I was looking at the video, I was like, wait a minute, hold on a minute. Yep. Wow. That's a huge eye opener right there. Yeah. 4K snow screensavers. Your UV mix comes up dark all the way around next to our digital 1 crystal screen paint. Wow, it's interesting saying that name again. This is why it was a good product then. It's actually beating all 3 of your screens. This is an 8-year-old product. Let's go over to snow. Now below, I will post some demonstrations from our old company under digital 1 crystal screen paint of me using the product. And if you notice, if you go look me up on digital 1 crystal screen paint, you will notice that yes, we had tons of beta testers and everybody testing our product. So we have as a matter of fact, if you go on well, I'll put the link there, the European account overseas, who basically we had the contract by, their site's still up. When you get a chance to see all the beta testers and everybody who tested our products out. That's what's I find it interesting that somebody who just didn't know us way back when we were doing all this stuff is now going to come up with a theory that he knows us. When we first started, you didn't even know we even existed. But it's funny that I can take an 8-year-old product from years back and use it now to basically either match or blow out your product. You're not even putting up the same white levels as a dog. Your white levels are coming up dingy. So even when I didn't even know you, my technology was more advanced than yours. You think you, for some reason, know my work. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Like I said, you know, think he knows our work. And I just brought back an 8-year-old screen paint, and I'm using it right now on this product. Let's see what we got going on over here. Combine some more white levels. And that UV mix is coming up horrible. It is just too dark. The reds are too dark. It's just horrible. Contrast levels on the UV mix are too dark. That's why it's not seeing any white levels. And I'm pretty sure when he did the demonstration on the UV mix, he didn't do it against any white screens. He probably stuck to just dark demonstrations in the dark. That's pretty much what he probably did. He pulled contrast levels, but he did them in the dark. I guarantee you he didn't do any demonstrations against white screens or anything like that to show the difference between the screen's height and white levels. Didn't do anything like that. That's why it's showing up like this on our old screen paint. So this is supposed to be your new stuff, and I'm actually going against it with something 8 years ago. When we get your Cinemax, it's going to go against the Digital 1crystal screen paint. The 8-year-old, we're going to call it the relic. This paint is old. We don't make this stuff anymore. And there's a reason why we don't make it anymore. Like I said, it's outdated. Nothing picks up on a UV mix. It's bad. It's really bad. So let me get this straight. 8 years ago, when I was selling and making this stuff, I was making your up-to-date products that you have now. Talk about time travel. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. The stuff I had 8 years ago that I was selling and was contracted under. This is your stuff now. This is supposed to be your newest stuff now. Look, I completely cloaked this screen right here. This is your newest stuff now against my 8-year-old screen paint. We're not even using a 4K projector. Look how dirty the reds come up on the UV. That is dirty. Look at your other screen paint right here. So your personal mix is something you just made. And I've had this 8 years ago. So much lighter my screen is than yours. J and K, 4K. See what you look like on skin tones. J and K, 4K. I mean, you talked all that nonsense on camera about how high tech and new your stuff is. We had this stuff 8 years ago, and not that stuff. I don't know what that is, but this stuff right here. Matter of fact, I want to do this one too. I honestly didn't know what to say. Something told me when I was looking, I said, you need to do a whole video on basically his products against that digital1crystal screen paint. Because the funny thing about it is, it's an 8-year-old screen paint. And your stuff is supposed to be new, updated. That means I can go back and I can bring back my old screen paints and take on your stuff with no problem. So if my old stuff from 8 years ago is doing this to your screen paint, there is no way in the world possible that you're basically beating any of the new technology you developed when this stuff can't even handle it. When our own old technology can't handle our new technology, there's no way in the world your product is doing anything against our products whatsoever. Period. If our old stuff can basically take out your product. Yeah, there's something for you to chew on for today. That is freaking hilarious. Yeah, you're done. You're done. You're done on so many levels, it's not even funny. Your demonstrations are definitely all fake. Everything you do is fake. I had to bring back an 8-year-old screen paint to basically, and then show people how to make it, because we don't care about that anymore, because we don't make it anymore. And then use it to match and blow out your screen paint. And you think you're touching the new stuff we have now. Yeah, we know you faked those. We already know you mixed and whatever you had to do to fake those demonstrations to make that product look like that. Yeah. If we got stuff with 8 years knocking out your stuff, there's no way in the world. And this stuff right here couldn't even handle our technology. There's no way in the world your stuff is basically even going toe to toe with anything we make. And I could bring stuff back from 8 years and do this. And if you don't believe that I exist on digital1crystal screen paint, type me in. I'm all over the place, all over YouTube. There's videos of me everywhere painting this stuff, and even at AVS forums, every place. And when you watch me do the paint on demonstrations, what color is the product? It wasn't black. Oh well. And UV mix is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. The only thing it shows is look at the red levels. Because there's no white levels in it, that's why. When you design a dark gray product and there's no white levels in it, then it's going to end up coming up dirty. And for those of you who say, well, what about against your, we already did this already. We did the demonstration. I'll post that link below. Of white screen, white sheets, the UV mix versus a signature 17. We back everything up. I'm gonna say something, I'll back it up. Let me make a hot cup of tea. That's sad. I can't say you copied me because your product comes out darker than mine when it comes to white levels. So you didn't copy me. But the fact that you think you consider this to be something new is supposed to be a new product, new technology, and we're doing this on an 8-year-old product on your, oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Will do. 8-year-old screen paint. Will do. I'm willing to take on the rest of your screen paints and see how they do against the digital 1crystal screen paint. Bet you will blend those too. On an 8-year-old screen paint. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. TCL 4K demonstration. That ain't good. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, when he was up there talking about how high-tech his personal mix was, how advanced it was, how it make your screen look absolutely incredible, the technology behind it, and we have an 8-year-old screen paint. All right? Just think about that one. And this 8-year-old screen paint that we're displaying right now can't even hold a candle to anything we have in here. Our screens would crush it in contrast, color, no problem whatsoever. You should just start calling yourself a relic because your product ain't new. And the reason why it's not new about it, because like I said, back in that particular era, when you had the 747s and the 757, I think it was GT or whatever, projectors that came overseas from China. They were really big on eBay. And a lot of people were doing demonstrations in the dark. Not a lot of people were doing demonstrations with the lights on. And they had something called YouTube paint, which is actually was basically Pro Essence or whatever and gray or whatever. It was some kind of mixture somebody made up. And they put it out for free and everybody was painting their screens with this stuff. And then people along the line started coming out with their own form of formulas here and there. So there were like bunches of people online doing this. There was a whole lot of people doing it. But everybody was doing their demonstrations in the dark. So we came on and started doing demonstrations with the lights on. We did the opposite of everybody else, much like we do now. And that's what got our name on the map. when I first started off. We didn't follow what everybody else was doing. We did the opposite of what everybody else was doing. But we already had this stuff. But that's when I told you on camera, I said a few times, we had this stuff already. We did this 8 years ago. Sure enough, we brought it back. Digital 1crystal screen paint, made it on camera, showed you the ingredients right there, and blended right into the screen. We had it 8 years ago. Everything he's showing you is old. And they played this, like I said, the demonstrations they did back then, they were all done in the dark anyway. Dark at that particular time. But in this time now, when you have ambient light projection technology and high-tech ultra short throw projectors and all this cool stuff we have, there's no excuse for a screen to be sitting in the dark 24/7. They do that because they don't want the colors to fade, and they don't want the contrast levels to fade. LG snowboarding demonstration. When he called himself coming out with this invisible screen paint, we had it way before he even knew he existed. Think about it, before he knew he existed, we were making his product that he is now trying to sell in 2021. But that's not a mind blower. I don't know what is it. I don't know what it is. Mine just got blue. Got blue. This got blue. The UV makes can pull a contrast level. The only problem is the black levels are literally so high that everything else comes out dirty on it, including red. Sony 4K demonstration. I'll show you. See? Red's dirty. The rest of your product, yeah. I got to see when the personal mix came out. When you launched it. No, it was 8 years back. But technically, I had the ingredients. Well, I do have the ingredients for, I think, pretty much all the stuff you make, because we made it already. I know what this guy, I know exactly what the Cinemax is. I know exactly what it is. I guarantee you we got something in our library that matches that screen. Look, there's your personal mix right there. Your screen is right over there. That's bad. I got to see the grains on the UV mix real quick. Eight years, an 8-year-old screen paint. Just blended your up-to-date stuff. Oh, that's dirty. That just came up real dirty. I'm trying to be rude here, but like I said, when I sat there and said on camera that we used to make your screen paint 8 years ago, I wasn't joking. I was dead serious. We made your product 8 years ago. And everybody thought, oh, you didn't make this product. Well, there you go right there. There's proof right there. I back up everything I'm going to say. There it is. We made it already. And I can tell you exactly what's in the freaking UV mix. I can tell you that right from the door what's in it. We know what's in it. It's gray primer with black. That's it. And the reason why we know that, because we can tell how it's reacting off the other screens. We did all this testing already. When you start learning how to put in different shades of black, especially when you're just working with black and white paint all the time, and you basically, well, actually gray and white paint, and you use black as a toner, you start learning that if you put more of an application in, you know exactly where to hit to get that certain color. That's it. Now, like I said, and that wasn't the case, people, why in the world would you delete a video of you on YouTube putting black paint into white paint if that had nothing to do with your product to begin with? Why would you delete it? You had 27,000 hits on it. Why would you delete it? What would be your purpose to delete that video? And fear that someone would find out how the product is made, as it matched on the video with no problem. It's a good tea. Deleting videos left and right. Look how dark the UV mix comes up. Beautiful Women 4K. Oh, we definitely got to do the beaches. We got to do the beaches. We definitely got to do the beaches before we do the women. We got to do the beaches. We got to. Let's see if we can get some white beaches. That comes out sounding so bad, it does, but it's not what you think it is. Somebody literally thought I cursed on camera. I was like, no, it's not what you guys said. It's hard to even say beaches. It's beaches. And it just sounds so. Now you try to pronounce it the right way. But yeah, there you go. There's your UV mix right there. Against our 8-year-old screen paint. Digital1crystal screen paint. Even your product here is coming up dark. Our screen's still lighter than your screen right there. And that's your personal mix. And that's actually lighter than the Metallica mix 2.0. Excuse me, people. Beautiful Women 4K. Okay, we gotta fix this a bit. So you come up on skin levels. No. You added something in there. I didn't ask for all that. I asked for beautiful women, and you just added more into that. That's not what I asked for. All right, space that, and then we need to put in 4K. Yeah, I bet you that when you made the UV mix, you didn't do any demonstration next to light gray screens or anything like that whatsoever. Didn't do any white levels, none of that at all, period. Because if you did, it would have came up this dark. It literally would have came up this dark. Mind you, when we do Novas have to be tested against screens that are lighter than it. That's why, like I said, kitchen drawer full of sample sheets. Not everything in there is dark. We've got some pretty light screens in there sitting in there, and they all get tested against Novas all the time. So you didn't test your product out at all, period. Like, we might have to order some of that UV mix from you now, because we're going to have to do some tests on some white levels. These will be our own personal reviews now we're going to start doing. So we're doing a review against your product versus an 8-year-old screen paint. Up to date, 2021, your products versus a product we made like in 2012 or somewhere around that time. There we go. Your other screen is over there. That's going. That's not even in the picture anymore. Wow. Yeah, UV mix, boy. That's really brutal. That's brutal. What I find interesting about this real quick, when we did the Black Nova, we put your Metallica mix and your personal mix against Signature 16, and we did a demonstration on skin tones, and it didn't even come out that dark. But yet, if I take sheets back and forth, Signature 16 versus UV mix, you got to see that right there. That the paint came out so dark, it was unbelievable. That's because you have no white levels in there picking up at all, period. It's just strict picking up just a black image. Other words, you don't have color coding technology. And we don't even have it in this because it's old. Wow, look at that. Look how, oh wow. That's bad. But as I said before, what do I say in every demonstration? If you feel that I have done you wrong in any way whatsoever, feel free to do the same demonstration. As a matter of fact, I put the ingredients for Crystal Edge Technology screen paint. You can copy it down and make it yourself. Knowing you probably copy, make it yourself and call it your own, which you usually do with everybody else's stuff. You know, there used to be other people in here that used to make screen paint. You know why they're not around anymore? Because of this joker. Trusting in him. That's bad. Look at that. That's horrible. That is really horrible. The reason why your screen looks that dark, and I'll tell you why, like I said, you haven't, there's no test. Show me one test on the UV mix of you showing any demonstrations of white levels versus that screen. Any demonstrations. In a well-lit environment at that. None. Just slap together some gray and black paint, throw it in the dark, and say, look, we can pull contrast levels. Meanwhile, an elitist can pull an image outside with no problem at 13 feet back on 1,000 lumens with no problem. I can walk around that screen and pick up an angle, viewing angle from the top and the bottom on that screen. You can't do that. Can't back up your product. Cutting corners, Captain Corner Cutter. That's your name from now on, Captain Corner Cutter. No one cuts corners like Captain Corner Cutter. He's the best. He is the best at cutting corners. This is why your product is reacting this way. Look at this. That's crazy. It's an 8-year-old product. Mind, this is supposed to be your personal mix. This is supposed to be something you develop for yourself. Now, as you can engage to your customers to tell them how advanced it is. And I got an 8-year-old screen paint. That's just so wrong. So many levels. It's unbelievable. Let me see. Let me go back. Oh, look at that grin on them teeth. That alligator right there. Let's go with Ooh. LG food demonstration. Let's see. Oh, we definitely got to do this one now. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. The UV mix is so bad. That is horrible. This is digital and crystal screen paint. This is a signature 17. What's the difference? Well, let's see. There you are. Well, we don't make that product anymore. Because it can't. So you can put white levels, yeah. But everything else, it's not there. Oh, Alexa, she froze. All right, let's fix her. There we go. We gotta fix her. She froze. See? Can't even pick up the Chrissy logo. Firefox can't pick up the contrast levels. So you can see. Signature 17 technology is absolutely incredible. Mind you, like I said, I can sit upstairs in my window right now and I can watch TV and it won't even affect the screen. I told you, 8-year-old technology, like I said, versus the new stuff we have now, our stuff would crush this stuff like it ain't nothing. So if 8-year-old technology we had is basically useless against the technology we have now, and it's matching his product and boom, went out with no problem, then what makes you think the stuff that he has now can even touch the stuff we make now? There you go. Cancel. See? It won't even pick up color next to this technology. It's a blank screen next to this stuff. How many times we have to prove them wrong? Now imagine when you saw the UV mix, how dark it came up. That's how high the white levels are in our technology. Like I said, the image may be, the white levels may be a little low, but nothing that's going to be so dark you can't see the screen, much like the UV mix over there. We can pour contrast levels, no problem. TCL, 4K demonstrations. Let's see if we can make the screen as dark as the UV mix showed up over there. Ain't happening, is it? Now you see why, when I had that piece of screen in my hand, what I saw. And what made me change over from, hands down, pleading that gray screens were the ultimate screens. They pour amazing contrast levels. They pour amazing colors. And then the minute I saw that sample sheet on my screen, I was like, oh, snap. Yeah, I was wrong. Very, very wrong. I had to re-engineer myself, rebuild my technology to make it darker, to make it better, to produce brighter levels. That's where I need to be. This stuff is old. OG snowboarding demonstration. And like I said, we tested against CMR AV, all those high-end screens. We had to. You can't skip that technical test. If I skip those tests, someone's going to come and say, hey, have you done this already? I'm going to say, no. Has to be done. You may have a screen that may produce higher white levels than better than your screen. Still has to be done. People need to see what they're buying. Not cutting corners in the dark and doing all kinds of sneaky tricks and all that other nonsense. Captain Corner Cutter. Now, if the screen produces too high of a white level, then you get all kinds of stuff like blinding and all that stuff starts hitting the screen. Let's go over to, real quick, Starfield demonstration. We know it's not going to pick up. Starfield screensaver. Star filter. Where did you get freaking star filter from? Starfield screensaver. There we go. Now you're working. You're cooking with gas. See how the colors fade and wash out? UV mix. Do you feel that you could go against a signature? All right, so let's see how your contrast levels comes up when producing black next to a signature 17. That produces a 100% contrast level. You don't pick up black at all. So if I were to put you against this screen and do a contrast demonstration, this screen would blow you out of the water. The screen is 100% black. The coating that's sprayed on it, that invisible technology, is jet black. And you can see white light. Novas. If I put you against Nova, as a matter of fact, tonight I'll stick you against that Nova upstairs, 151 inch, that Nova, and pull a star field demonstration. See if your screen can match that nova upstairs. Of course, it's going to be a light tone demonstration. Of course, we don't do contrast in the dark. You're not supposed to do that. All right, let's switch over. So now you've seen the difference between why we don't make this product anymore, because next to our stuff, it's trash. It's old, outdated screen paint. That's why we don't make it anymore. I say it's trash. Yeah, it is. It is after what I just saw in that demonstration. Blue screen. What I saw in that demonstration, imagine. But at least blue screen. At least I changed. Because, like I said, with technology, you got two choices. Either you roll with it or you get crushed by it. That's the only two choices. And after what I saw that day, when I'm preaching like, yeah, you know, gray screens are the best way to go, and this and blah, 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 and this and blah, 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 and they put the best contrast on it, and blah, 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 blah. At least I know technology, good technology, when I see it. And seeing that black diamond come in there and just destroy everything that I've worked on, I learned from that experience to basically, okay, I need to take a couple steps back and I need to start doing some research in dark technology. And this is where we're at now, while you're still using an 8-year-old product that we had developed 8 years ago. And trying to pass it off as something new when it's not. Been there, done that. Literally, I can honestly say that. Been there, done it. Been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that. Done that, been there, done that, been there, done that, done that, been there, done that. Been there, done that. Been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that. Been there, done that. Now your projector sees color on your projector. And the color that you see there is the color that you will see every time you watch a movie, a TV show, sports, whatever. That's what you're going to bring up every single time. This is why you're told to calibrate your projector. This is why you're told to have your projector in an ambient light controlled environment to help the screen. All that is to help the screen. Calibrate your projector, help the screen. Put your environment in a darker environment to help the screen. That's a bunch of bull crap, especially with the technology we have today. See how his product is reacting the same way our product is reacting 8 years ago? It's old. There's nothing new about it. It's old, old, old technology. We made it already. Had it already. Done tests, beta tests. You name it. Had contracts underneath of it. At that particular time, that was the product. 8 years ago, that was the product. Now, no, it's not. So he's trying to pass off his Cinemax as being a new paint, whatever. Show me a difference. Go get some primer or make any one of those mixes you have and show me a huge difference. Like how I can sit in there and I can take it against my screen and I can walk back here and you can see the difference between red and non-red. That kind of difference. Show me a contrast level in a fully lit environment of a star field. Show me that there is a difference between that. If not, the bottom line is I bet you have right there is relic paint. And I guarantee you we have something in our collection, in our archives, of paint that we made that will match it with no problem. This will probably match it. Butterflies, beautiful flowers. Now, just to show you that, the sample sheet that we have wasn't anything different. It's the same as that. The same thing. But we're not using that because this is not. We need the UV mix back up here. That's what we need back up there. We'll let this play. And then we are done for the day. Now see, if you did some tests, some real tests on your products, especially against other great screen paints, showing there's a difference, maybe you wouldn't be matching my product from 8 years ago if you had some tests. And if you had some tests, that means I could do something different besides showing a demonstration with just projector and screen. If you had some different tests, you know what I mean, maybe you did something with a couple of feet back and this, that, and the other, then I would have to do those same tests to show that we have the same product that you have here. But you don't do any of that. So that's why it makes it so easy. I just have to turn the projector on and I have the lights on or off, doesn't make a difference, and see what happens. We didn't have a lot of tests either when it came to digital one crystal screen painting. Ours was the same thing. If you watch my demonstrations, you would see me do something with the lights on and lights off. That was it. Only difference is we kept our lights on because we wanted to stand out from everybody else. But there's nothing new about your stuff. Your stuff, like I said, we made this 8 years ago. I don't know what this is right there. Honestly, we didn't make that, but this stuff right here, yeah. So you have nothing new. And the Cinemax is nothing new. I guarantee you, it's probably either white paint mixed with gray, because there's no black in it. The screen's too light. Can't put black in there. There's no way in the world. You'd have to add way white into it to dilute the black. So it has to be somewhere around either using white paint and gray to make it. Okay, people, that's basically about it. Anything else would be beating a dead horse to death, and we're not doing that. So, final conclusion, this product's new. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. As you can see, we had it 8 years ago. If you want, you can look me up on the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. You will see that I'm there. You will see me in videos. You see me doing demonstrations. We'll put beta testers up there, and I'll find that company that we had that contract with. Their Facebook page is still active. I don't know why, but it still is. I'll put down there, and you'll see Zone 708 on that page because he was on there, one of the beta testers, and Superman was actually on that page too. He was actually part of our group because he was part of our beta tester crew. So you'll see all that on there, and you'll see they call their company Digital One Crystal, but you'll see Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. So you'll get a chance to see all that. So yeah, we had a contract under the company. But other than that, like I said, something he's telling you that has all these special abilities. No, it doesn't. The projector he has literally does all the work. I mean, if that was the case, he could easily downgrade his projector by selling the P2 and just going out and get the 720p projector and see if he'll produce the same image. Wouldn't that be interesting to watch? There you go. But he has to rely on that projector in order to get that image. That's why. All right. Gotta go. And we'll probably have the Elitist. We gotta have that out. Oh yeah, it already has a date on it. I forgot we did put a date on it. We put Friday. Friday's the day it comes out. All right, with that being said, thank you for your time. I have to go, and beware. Beware, trust me. Captain Corner Cutter. This is messed up, but God bless. Wow.